Hello, my book friends. I am here to tell you all about the upcoming books in April. Okay, so I know that this video is a little bit late, but bear with me here. So let's dive into it. First, let me tell you about some books that came out 2 days ago on April 16th. So the first book for the April 16th books is Taming 7 by Chloe Walsh. Taming 7 is an epic and unforgettable love story in the international best-selling and TikTok phenomenon The Boys of Tommen series from Chloe Walsh. She's the quintessential sunshine girl. He is a lovable class clown, but storm clouds are rolling in, and this Tommen boy is about to get serious. Our next book is The One That Got Away with Murder. Robbie and Trevor Crossmount have a body count, the killer kind. Handsome and privileged, the Cressmont brothers have enough wealth to ensure they'll never be found guilty of any wrongdoing, even if all of Happy Valley believes they're behind the deaths of their ex-girlfriends. First, there was the soccer star, Victoria Moreno, Robbie's ex, who mysteriously drowned at the family lake house. Then, a year later, Trevor's girlfriend died of a suspicious overdose. And our last book for April 16th is You Know What You Did by Katie Nyungen. I probably pronounced that wrong. Annie Onlee Shaw grew up poor, but seems to have it all now. A dream career, a stunning home, and a devoted husband and daughter. When Annie's mother, a Vietnam War refugee, dies suddenly one night, Annie's carefully curated life begins to unravel. Her obsessive-compulsive disorder, which she thought she'd vanished years ago, comes roaring back, but this time, the disturbing fixations swirling around in Annie's brain might actually be coming true. Next, on April 19th, a personal arc that I am reading currently, What I Should Have Said, by Max Monroe. This book will be on Kindle Unlimited. When grumpy, muscled-up artist Bennett Bishop bothers to speak, it's usually to say something you're not ready to hear. When he first speaks to Nora Ellis, a rambling runaway bride who hitchhikes a ride from him, it's to tell her to get out of his truck and walk because she is a pain in the ass. First is Emily Henry's funny story. Daphne always loved the way her fiancé Peter told their story. How they met on a blustery day, fell in love over an errant hat, and moved back to his lakeside hometown to begin their life together. He really was good at telling it, right up until the moment he realized he actually was in love with his childhood friend, Petra. Next is Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. For as long as they can remember, Jessica, Nora, and Alicia have been told how lucky they are. As young girls, they were rescued from family tragedies and raised by a loving foster mother, Miss Fairchild, on an idyllic farming estate and given an exclusive second chance at a happy family life. But their childhood wasn't the fairy tale everyone thinks it was. Miss Fairchild had rules. Miss Fairchild could be unpredictable. And Miss Fairchild was never, ever to be crossed. In a moment of desperation, the three broke away from Miss Fairchild and thought they were free. Even though they never saw her again, she was always somewhere in the shadows of their minds. When a body is discovered under the home they grew up in, the foster sisters find themselves thrust into the spotlight as key witnesses. Or are they prime suspects? And finally, for April 23rd, Dark Parts of the Universe by Samuel Miller. In Calico Springs, Willie's life has been defined by two powerful forces, God and the river. The miracle boy died for 5 minutes as a young child, and ever since, Willie is certain he survived for a reason. But that purpose didn't become clear until he found the game. The game is called Manifest Atlas, and the concept is enter an intention, and the game provides a target, a blinking blue dot on the map. Willie's second time playing Manifest Atlas, his intention takes him to an ominous target, 3 empty graves. Willie is sure the game is telling him he's going to die. And for April 26th, I found 2 books that were going to be released. The first book is The Love Algorithm by Camilla Eiley. At 28, with a PhD under her belt and a meteoric rise to head of research and development at Mercer Robotics, Reese feels her decision to put her career first has worked out pretty well for her. Sure, she doesn't have many personal relationships to speak of, but she does love her team and they like her too. So when she's called to the big boss's office and told she will be looking after his son while he does a rotation in her lab, she's not thrilled that her hard work and achievements have boiled down to being a glorified babysitter, especially to a billionaire playboy with zero experience of mechanical engineering. And our second and last book for April 26th, Sky Full of Stars by Taryn Nikolic. Probably pronounced that wrong. My older brother's best friend is my new neighbor at the ranch. Will he finally notice I exist, igniting the romance I've always yearned for? Sparks better darn well fly. Ingrid. On Halloween, my favorite holiday, I was informed my brother's best friend, who was also my lifelong crush, would be moving into the house next door. The kicker is, it's just in time for Christmas. So guess what I'll be doing on Black Friday? Not shopping. I'll be helping load up a storage unit and moving Callum's belongings into his new residence. Meanwhile, he thinks of me as nothing more than Lachlan's little sister. He's a serial dater with a certain type. Unfortunately for me, it isn't brown hair and green eyes. I'll have to keep my feelings locked down tight as we work together to decorate the ranch for the holidays. And finally, for the last day of the month, April 30th, we have a couple more books. Just fair warning, you're going to be hearing a baby in the background. Our first book for April 30th, we have Happy Medium by Sarah Adler. A clever con woman must convince a skeptical, sexy farmer of his property's resident real-life ghost if she's to save them all from a fate worse than death in this delightful new novel from the author of Mrs. Nash's Ashes. And the next novel for April 30th is Love You Mean It by Jilly Gagnon. Ellie Greco wishes she weren't stuck in Millborough. For a few brief, shining years, she escaped her hometown to pursue her dream career, designing beautiful, elaborate costumes for theater, until her father's death 5 years ago called her home to run the family's decades-old deli. Yes, she loves the place, but she always thought that she was meant for more exciting things than stocking the right tinned fish. But when Ellie hears that a local landlord is planning to rent to Magnia, the glitzy gourmet food department store, the very existence of Greco's deli is suddenly in jeopardy. She tries to plead her case to Theo Taylor, scion of the property management firm that is about to put her out of business. But their meeting goes from bad, it's not her fault, he's infuriating, to worse. No one expects the ceiling to literally fall in. And finally, every time I go on vacation, someone dies. All that best-selling Eleanor Dash wants is to get through her book tour in Italy and kill off her main character, Connor Smith, in the next in her vacation mystery series. Is that too much to ask? Clearly, because when an attempt is made on the real Connor's life, the handsome but infuriating conman she got mixed up with 10 years ago and now can't get out of her life, Eleanor's enlisted to help solve the case. And that is all I have for April for you guys. There are more books, but I just couldn't talk about them all, obviously. I just gave you guys my top 3 for each date. What did you guys think? What books are you guys gonna get? There's a lot of them on Kindle Unlimited. I'm going to go ahead and put them in the description below so that way you guys have a quick link to click on. Enjoy the books and happy reading.